I'm coming in loud and clear. Might hear me on the radio. Breaker, breaker, 1-9. Anybody got their ears on?
Hello, my friends. It's Eric here at Farpoint Farms in the mountains, North Carolina. Today, I wanted to show you this. I picked this up at a ham fest. It's been like 2 years, and I have waited to unbox it so I could do it here on film. If you're over the age of 40, chances are you've owned one of these. If you're over the age of 50, chances are you probably still have one in your closet. This brand is the Naxa, and the model number is the NX-503. But this is a very generic 5-inch or 5.5, depending on who you talk to or what company it is, black and white television set. It is a tube TV. These things were around forever. I remember Hurricane Fran rolling through and power was out for 14 days. It takes like an enormous amount of C or D size batteries. And so it didn't last for very long, maybe a night or two where we were able to watch TV, and then we were just on to radios, but they were an incredible thing. So why did they disappear? Because of the digital transition. As soon as we went to digital TV, these things lost pretty much all of their purpose in life. That doesn't mean that they're useless. It just means that their main purpose no longer serves a purpose. But let's go ahead and unbox this thing. I don't know if it's ever been used before or if it's new old stock, but it's certainly, oh, I think it's original. Wow, okay, so we have manual de instructione and we have instruction manual. So I do believe we got ourselves a winner. I'll set this over a little bit. Portable 5.5-inch black and white TV. This one includes an AM/FM radio. Not all of them did, but a lot of them did. And we got a 75 ohm coax cable connection, but you have to go to like an earphone jack, and I'll show you what that means here in a second. And it just talks about what it comes with, operating instructions, band select, VHS high, VHF low, and UHF, volume, tuning, brightness, contrast, vertical hold. There's a lot. Private listening, headphone jack. Power sources, you can hook it to a 12-volt power pack, which is what I'll be using here. Or you can use a whole lot of batteries. 10 1.5-volt C-size batteries in this particular one, although I have seen them with D batteries, 10 batteries. I don't know about you, but batteries were not cheap in the 80s or the 90s or even the 2000s. They're still not cheap today, so that I think was the biggest downfall. But when you're talking about a tube television set, no matter how small it is, it's kind of going to be part of the problem. I will say that that is a very substantial, heavy power pack right there. And it is brand new, never used. You can see it appears this radio was never used, or this TV set here. It is a TGI adapter made for TV sets, so literally is designed for this. 12 volts, 850 milliamps is the output. Cool. All right. Well, it's kind of, well, there's, okay, so there's a cigarette lighter adapter here. Now this one happens to be silver, at least that's what's on the cover. But most of these, if I can get it out of the box here, I'll have to push it through, I think. And I just found something very interesting that in all the years that I've had this, I never noticed, but let me push this through. There we go. And that is this. It's this. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but here's a sticker. Was $50, now $19.99. So I don't know what year this particular one was made. Again, 2008, 2009 would have been the end of the run for these, although you could buy them brand new for quite some time afterwards because there were so many that were still out there in boxes. All right, I'm going to set that down. We'll pull off. Oh, we got a major bonus here. This is way awesome. Here it is. And it has a manufacture date on it, so let me go ahead and go through it with you. Here it is. Naxa 5.5 black and white with radio. And what do I see on the back that makes me just happy as could be? This was manufactured in April of 2005. This is a very rare model. I've never seen one, but I've heard they exist. Audio and video inputs. So you can hook a VCR, a video game system, whatever you wanted to if you had something. And so a digital converter box would work beautifully. VCR DVD player. I have a DVD player over here. Maybe we'll hook it up and see if it works. And matter of fact, we are going to hook it up and see if it works. But oh my gosh, do you remember these? Got a nice little carrying handle here. They don't weigh a whole lot. This one clearly has never been used. So I've owned 2 of these. I owned one that I bought myself. We had it through Fran. It never died. We still kept it for years and years and years. In fact, if you go back through some of my earliest videos, it's sitting on the shelf behind me. And then when we went to digital television, my mother gave me hers, and it was nearly identical. Different brand. I think one was Magnavox, one was Panasonic or some other brand. And she clearly no longer had a use for it, and I took it because I hated to see something that works go in the trash. Well, I hung on to the old one forever. I mean, I hung on to that, both of them for the longest time. Finally got rid of one, kept the one that was in better shape, and then eventually, sometime around 2020, I got rid of it. Wouldn't you know, like the moment you get rid of it, you're like, oh boy, I wish I'd kept it. And the reason I wish I'd kept it was I was going to take it apart. As I read about this on a website, you could take it apart, you could bypass the analog receiver and put in an audio and video input. Well, that was going to be the project I did with this. Don't have to worry about that anymore because this one actually comes with it. What a treat that is. Awesome. Well, on the sides, we just have air ventilation here on both sides. These are not fake, they're actual air vents because this is a tube television. That's a 5 or 5.5 inch black and white tube TV, which you're getting can be kind of rare. Up on top, other than the handle, which is kind of molded into the case, you can see more venting, and we do have an antenna that extends here and goes up. That also works for the FM receiver. As I recall, I never had one of these that had anywhere near decent reception on AM, but who knows? Maybe this one will. On the bottom, we have a removable cover, and there's, holy cows, there are a lot of spaces for batteries, right? Well, we don't have to worry about that. We won't be using batteries on this at all. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that. Oops. There we go. And then the front is where the money's at. So let's take a look at the front here. Lots going on. I remember the tuning being really touchy because it's really hard to lock it in with the tuner. But we have UHF, VHF, VHF high, and then we also have the FM band and the AM band. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different little stripes of numbers along there that all give us different stuff to do. Down here we have off, radio, and tuner for TV. And then we have our high, medium, or high, low, and UHF. And then we have volume, which is also, no, that's right. This one has it on the off. I was going to say, I thought that was also turning it off, but apparently not on this model. So we just have volume here. And this one's nice enough to have a headphone jack. One of the ones I had a headphone jack. The other one didn't. Well, I am so excited about this right now because it has AV in. So what I want to do is I'm going to pause the camera. I'm going to move the camera over there to the desk, and we're going to set this thing up. Maybe I can get a DVD in there. Got to be real careful with copyright, but on a 5-inch black and white TV, I doubt even the AI in charge of YouTube could detect whatever it is I plan on playing here. Let's do it. All right, well, we've got it set up here. I guess I wanted to show you, I didn't show you this before here. So on the back, this is a custom, instead of being a like normal connector for a TV, RCA, not an RCA connector, but you know what I'm talking about. They use a phono jack, like a small microphone jack, and it has a little converter to go to regular size. But you can also, well, you could get those at Radio Shack. They would give a pretty crisp picture if you wanted to hook it up to antenna. I've got power hooked up. I've got audio and video hooked up. And what I've done here is I've hooked it, the DVD player didn't work. It was HDMI only. But I have this really old thing that I used to have for our old console TV set. We had a console TV in our last house. I kept it. It allows you to play movies off of USB, so I have that hooked up. This button right here switches between AV and TV, and then we do have, I didn't show you that, vertical hold, which was an issue back in the old days, and we've kind of forgot about it. And then we have brightness and contrast. I assume they might need some adjustment here once we get this thing turned on. But that rounds out the whole thing. And now it's time for the moment of truth. I have not turned it on, but I do have this little doodad. I can't really see it, but that's the little doodad. It's an Increta Sonic, and I don't know how old that is, but it's been around a while. But that is what is going to be feeding our AV signal to this, assuming that it works. And let's do it. I hear a humming sound, but that's all I hear. It lives. I don't know how well you can see that. Yeah, you can kind of see it. Okay, that's like a screensaver. So let's see here. And let's go ahead and try it. I'm going to say that that's probably damage then to the unit from 100 years of sitting around, but it might go away or it might just be related to that piece. But let's see if we can play a movie. USB device. Lexar is the name of the device. I actually can see this fairly clearly. And what we're going to play is Wolfman Mac, because that is public access. It would have been something you would have watched on black and white TV. Wolfman Mac was a great horror host. Hopefully this plays. I don't know if it is. Oh, I see blinking. It's thinking. Oh my gosh. Let's turn the volume up. It works. Let me zoom in on it. Unbelievable. So, not a perfect picture by any means, but we're talking about technology that is, let me get that set up there. Technology that is way more modern than what this TV set was designed for. TV being made in 2005, which is actually one of the last ones. I've never seen one that new. Usually it's from the 70s or 80s, I'm sorry. But here we are using USB to watch Chiller Drive-In, which is Wolfman Mac's really cool monster show that he used to have on with Boney Bob. There's Boney Bob there. I used to watch that all the time. Well, what an amazing piece of history, and it works. So let me go ahead. I'll switch off of that. We can turn it off. Let's switch it to radio, and we'll see. I doubt we'll get anything, but
what you just said there, the possibility
incredible.
Of military intervention, that we don't know what that would look like. How real is that, Emmanuel?
Absolutely, that's a question that has animated discussion in West Africa since they've made this threat.
So that's FM
Part of this force.
and AM. I won't torture you with that. FM mode definitely is capable. Very cool.
I'm reading an old detective novel. A detective novel? No kidding.
There it is.
I ever tell you I always wanted to be one of those old-fashioned
So even in 2023, at the time of filming,
those cool guys.
TV like this has still got some use to it. It's still something you can play with, still something you can get some use out of. And if you're lucky enough to find one like this that has audio and video inputs, well, the sky's the limit. Hook it up to a VCR, hook it up to an old video game that has AV out, hook it up to a DVD player that has AV out, or hook it up to a digital TV converter and run the whole thing off of Power Pack, and you still have access to being able to watch television when the lights are out. Till next time, my friends, take care.